different. I think Trevor Lawrence is an outstanding quarterback, man. One of the best to me to come out. Um, Actually went out to Santa Clara when those guys beat us pretty good a couple years ago. Um, Trevor is different, man. I mean, DJ is a young guy, just as talented. But when you're talking about Trevor Lawrence, man, you're talking about a guy, unless you get pressure on this guy, a la Ohio State, you don't have a chance. You can't fool him with defense, eye manipulation, footwork. I mean, this dude has seen it all, man. He knows how to manipulate the safety. Um, Trevor Lawrence is awesome, man. I mean, I know it doesn't look like that because what's fresh in our mind is that Ohio State game, but Trevor is the most ready pro quarterback out there. The guy can run if he need to. He'll stretch that thing out on you if he need to, if he can. I mean, Trevor's good, man. I mean, we lose sight of that, and you know, the Ohio State game is what everybody remembers, but this guy was awesome. This guy was awesome, man. He's the most ready pro quarterback that I've seen here this year, with all due respect to my favorite quarterback, Matt Jones. Trevor is very, very good, man. In that first game against Notre Dame with DJ starting, you got to remember that game, Cornell Powell took a lot of passes in the flats, long. Amari Rogers, a lot of passes, short passes, they turned into big games. I think DJ threw for what, 430, 439, something like that. Threw the ball 44 times. My most impressive stat from DJ was probably that he took care of the ball. I don't think he threw an interception in that game. But I do think Trevor, I give that man his credit. He's tough. When Ohio State played those guys in the college football playoff last year, Ohio State, you know, they got to him a lot. Even though Clemson won that game, Ohio State beat him up pretty good. They beat him up pretty good, man, and he got right back up. I mean, he took some hellacious licks in that game, and that guy got back up. He's worked on his body. When he first got to Clemson, he was a beanpole. If you look at him now, Trevor's got to be maybe 225, 230 maybe. So I got a lot of respect for Trevor. I do see what the NFL guys see as far as the things outside of throwing the ball, the thing pre-snap. I think he is that good, guys. But on another note, you know, shout out to Clemson and Ohio State and all the great teams in the country who had great days today. It's roll tide, Mark, man. Let's talk about these Bama guys, man. Can we do that? Now, my Bama fans might be upset with me. They might be upset with me, but, you know, I'm a realist, man. I'm a realist. I don't like putting the cart before the horse. I just don't. I respect the recruiting game. I coach these kids in high school, so I understand and go. I've had several coaches. I know how the recruiting game goes. I don't want to put this class. You know, I just hate when I hear greatest of all time. I respect it. I respect it, and you know, you recruit these young men and give them the opportunity to further their education, you know, and play football and do all the great things they go on to do. Let's just put the cart before the horse, man. Let's be thankful we got a bunch of great kids that want to come play for university. But saying they have the opportunity or is going to be better than the 2017 class, I got to put, you know, we got to pump the brakes on that, man. You know, to put it into perspective, you have to remember, you know, we lose sight of it sometimes. The 2017 class, put this into perspective. 2 Biletnikoff winners, Jerry Jeudy, Smitty. A Doak Walker winner, Najee. An Outland Trophy winner, Leatherwood. A potential 8 first-round draft picks with the 4 guys that's in the NFL now with Tua, Jedrick, Henry, and Jerry, along with the 4 guys that's on the roster now. Potential of 8 first-round draft picks, 9 counting Waddle, but Waddle was 2018 class. 3 national championship appearances, 2 national championship rings, 51-4 record, 25-1 home record. Maxwell Award winners, 2 of them actually, 2 Maxwell Award winners, Tua and Devontae. Heisman Trophy winner, 5 candidates with Tua. Tua, Mac, Najee got 5th and didn't get invited, but he got 5th place, and Devontae. So that class accomplished a hell of a lot, man. You know, for one class, one recruiting class to have all that fanfare. And so we got to be careful with that, man. These guys are great on paper with the stars and things of that nature, but work ethic is going to be the key. Are they going to work like they did? You know, Devontae Smith don't grow on trees. And I'm not talking about the physical stature. I'm talking about the kids that want to work, the kids that come back early from spring break. I know they're not having spring break, but the kids that want to hit that weight room and want to practice, the kids that's not concerned with kicking it so much and want to be better. And you got to pay the price to be great, man. A lot of people forget about that. If being great was easy, hell, everybody would be great. You got to pay that price, man. So I appreciate the young men, and I'm happy. God knows I love the fact that these kids choose to come to the University of Alabama and let Saban mold them. But it's a lot of hidden things that you got to see before we can crown this class. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that got to go their way. The work ethic is the big deal. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that the only person or set of people that I could respect making that claim that this is the best class of all time would be the people that actually scout the players and know what they're talking about and scout them as high school players. That I actually can say that they're going back to 2017 when they scouted these players as high school players and didn't look at a Leatherwood or a Devontae Smith or all the guys that you listed as collegiate players, but go back to how they were evaluated at the time versus how they're evaluating these players right now. And they can make some kind of difference in their evaluation to say this class, for as awesome and amazing as that class was, this one is somehow better. Now, I haven't heard anybody do that. I think the people that are saying that this is the greatest class of all time, all they're going by is just the metrics. The 247 Sports composite, the ratings of the players, that 0.89 figure is a smidge higher than it was 4 years ago. So they're saying this is the greatest class of all time. And what they're saying is statistically, based on how these players are rated and evaluated, it is as it stands right now. But what you just laid out is going to be almost impossible. Now, I would not be surprised if Alabama only lost 4 games in the next 4 years and rolled off another 51-4 record and was able to reach those heights in terms of the championship game appearances and so forth. I would be pretty surprised if this class is able to duplicate the hardware individually that you just reeled off.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that they won't. I'm just saying I heard on another show that this class will be better, things like that, and I'm hoping they do. I'm the biggest fan.
Yep.
It just says a lot, man. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. Let's let these kids come in and, it's kind of like what Saban was saying. It's all good in high school. You got your stars. You're a great athlete, but you're gonna be lined up against somebody who's just as good as you. And either you're gonna get better, and use these opportunities to hone your game and take it personal. Or I have seen 5-star guys clam up. They clam up. They don't get any better. And they kind of fall to the wayside. So, I'm just a real big guy of letting the kids get in for a couple of months, let them see that Alabama is different than what they're going to be used to, way different. And then let's let the kids grow. You know what I mean? But listen, man, I appreciate you taking my call. Shout out to everybody who had a great recruiting class today. And I'll be tuned in and continue to support, man.
And SPH, I'm going to make one more comment before we move on to another call. And to your point, where the 5 stars sometimes fall by the wayside are at a place like Alabama, and it's obviously at the top of the line because they have to compete. If you're at a position group and you're a 5-star at Alabama, you're standing in a group of wide receivers, for example, with 10 other guys that are all high 4 stars and 5 stars as well. So you better bust your tail and own your routes and do it the right way, or you're not playing and you're going to be by the wayside. If you're somewhere else, if you're a 5-star or a high 4-star and you're at, even pick a pretty high ranking school like a Penn State, you may be so much more talented than everybody else that you can slack off a little bit. You're not going to get pushed that hard. And the coaches, and I'm not pointing out Penn State. This isn't about Penn State. But
right.
It's a really good program because you're just not going to get pushed by as many guys that are as talented as you. So that's what it turns out to be. No, we appreciate the call, though.
Exactly. No problem, man. Thank you again. I'll be tapped in and keep up the good work.